elected and Pasadena Catholics rejoiced with the world. Thieves kidnapped an elderly woman after a home invasion robbery, then have a shootout with police. And school board candidate Ruben Hueso joins us live in studio to talk about the runoff election. All that plus weather on CCN Crown City News. Your news, your neighborhood, seconds away.
A great business idea? The Pasadena Enterprise Zone can help. Pasadena Enterprise Zone, open for business.
Hi, I'm Jesse Avila at the Convalescent Aid Society, a nonprofit organization established in 1923. We provide the free loan of durable medical equipment, of hospital beds, wheelchairs, walkers, canes, and many other items. Your donations and contributions are welcome and greatly appreciated. We are located at 3255 East Foothill Boulevard in Pasadena.
We're here to help you!
Please give us a call and check for availability at 626-793-1696.
Hi everyone, thanks for watching CCN Crown City News. Your news, your neighborhood. I'm Sunita Joshua Madison. Our top story, the world waited, and once the white smoke finally cleared, a new pope was elected. Along with choosing the name Francis in honor of St. Francis of Assisi, he also is being hailed as the Pope of the Poor. CCN's Lily Nuno talked to local Catholics about what his selection means to the church.
Less than a month after Pope Benedict XVI resigned, white smoke emerged from the chimney of the Sistine Chapel last Wednesday, confirming that the papal conclave reached a decision. Argentina-born George Mario Bergoglio stepped out onto the balcony of St. Peter's Basilica as the new leader of the Catholic Church. Locally at Holy Family Catholic Church, parishioners filled the pews as they prayed in unity for the newly elected Pope this Sunday. Parish Director of Holy Family, Cambria Smith, says this new pope has already shown immense humility.
He's coming, as I said, from a very much a lived pastoral experience, and not even in the way that many cardinals and bishops and archbishops live, which is quite detached from the people in some respects. You know, they live in lovely palaces or episcopal residences, and the cardinal has chosen to live in an apartment to be with the people as much as possible.
But it's not only humility that is needed from this new pope. It is a leader who can deal with controversial issues that have plagued the Catholic Church. With over 1.2 billion Catholics worldwide, the Church has taken a beating with the papal abuse scandals and critics that say that reform is needed. Bob Cartland, who was raised and married in the Catholic Church, says these issues have cast a bad light on the Church in recent years.
Well, I think first and foremost, the Church hurt a lot of children. And absolutely, there need to be healing involved with that. And the church needs to do everything it can to facilitate that healing and also to take action to make sure that doesn't happen again.
Newly elected Pope Francis becomes the 260th Bishop of Rome and the successor of Peter the Apostle for the Catholic Church. As the first Jesuit Pope and the first from Latin America, those in the Hispanic community say it's a good change for the Church. Mexican-American Cora Hendayan says she already feels a connection with the Pope.
Well, it's exciting. I think it's a wonderful thing, especially with all the Spanish speakers. We're all excited. He'll be able to communicate to some of the Spanish, the language through Spanish, and I just think it's a great thing.
Although many are keeping a close watch on Pope Francis's next steps in leading the Catholic Church, Pope Francis emphasized on Saturday that Christ is at the center of the Catholic Church. In Pasadena, I'm Lily Nuno, CCN.
Thanks for that report, Lily. Just to clarify, Francis becomes the 266th Pope. Though the Pope is being hailed for his humility, the election of the Pope Francis, the first non-European Pope in 2,000 years, is not without controversy. Some have accused Francis of not doing enough to speak out against Argentina's military junta in the 1970s and for failing to stand up for two Jesuit priests who were kidnapped in 1976, that is. One of those priests, Francisco Halleck, posted a statement to the German branch of the Jesuit order website, which read in part, quote, "Due to lack of information and throughout targeted misinformation, our situation was misunderstood within the church. Only years later did we have a chance to discuss what had happened with Father Bergoglio, who in the meantime had been named Archbishop of Buenos Aires. Afterwards, we together celebrated a public mass and solemnly embraced. I am reconciled to the events and view them from my side as concluded," end quote. The Vatican also strongly denies Francis had any involvement with the junta. Well, an attempted robbery leaves an officer shot and those storm clouds on the horizon. CCN's meteorologist Curtis Peak has the complete forecast next. We'll be right back on CCN, your news, your neighborhood.
This CCN Green Minute is brought to you by Southern California Edison.
Hi, I'm Luna with CCN, and I'm here with Janetta Harris to give us some tips on how customers can save energy and money.
Great, thank you, Luna. First, I'd like to offer to our customers, if you're in the market for purchasing new appliances, please take a look at the Energy Star emblem that may be on them. You'll see two numbers on them. One number obviously is the purchase price of the appliance. The other number reflects how much energy they will actually save in a year. So make sure we look for those. We not only have them on appliances, but also electronic devices.
And what kind of electronic devices, besides the refrigerators and the kitchen appliances, can customers look for?
We all like computers, right? We all want those laptops. We need printers to get information out. So again, the Energy Star logo will be on those appliances or those electronic devices as well. We have a host of information, a lot of electronic and energy efficiency tips on sce.com/tips, or they can call into our call center at 800-736-4777.
Thanks so much. I'm sure everyone appreciates those ways that they can save money and energy. This has been your Southern California Edison Green Minute.
This CCN Green Minute is brought to you by Southern California Edison.
Welcome back. Here's a look at the stories you may have missed this week right here in the San Gabriel Valley. A 4-year-old boy was shot and critically injured on Saturday. The incident, in which 2 other men were shot, happened around 9 p.m. on the 1800 block of Summit Avenue in Pasadena. The boy was shot in the torso and suffered severest injuries, while 1 man was shot in the arm and another was just grazed. The victims were in their garage when the bullets penetrated the walls and hit them. This is the second shooting in that neighborhood in a week. Police are looking for 3 suspects in the shooting. One is a Latino man in his 20s with a shaved head. He was wearing a white t-shirt and black shorts. The other 2 suspects were 2 Latino males wearing dark shirts and pants. Anyone with information should call LA Crime Stoppers at 800-222-TIPS or 8477 or go to lacrimestoppers.org. Well, this was a crazy story. An elderly victim of a home invasion robbery on Wednesday became the victim of a kidnapping and robbery attempt the next day by the same suspects. Around noon on Thursday, a bank teller alerted police of suspicious activity when she saw 2 men with an elderly woman who looked like she was making a withdrawal under duress. The suspects fled the bank and then abruptly collided their vehicle into an unmarked sheriff's deputy's car that was tailing them. The suspects opened fire on the 2 plainclothes deputies, resulting in an exchange of gunfire, though the deputies were not injured. The 2 suspects eventually fled into the surrounding neighborhoods. It's not known if they were injured in the shootout. The suspects, described as 2 black males between the ages of 18 and 25, are still at large. The woman who lived in the 1900 block of North Arroyo Boulevard never reported the home invasion robbery. Though police aren't saying how many suspects were involved with the alleged home invasion, they made 3 arrests on Thursday evening. Police are also not confirming if the arrested suspects were involved in the shootout. The ongoing investigation in this case will be split, with the Pasadena Police handling the armed robbery side of the investigation and LA County Sheriff's handling the deputy-involved shooting end. Police have arrested a parolee missing since 1980. Richard Bradford was arrested last week at the Home Depot in Monrovia. Bradford was paroled in 1978 and disappeared in 1980. According to the state officials, Bradford began going by the name James Edward Hurd and had a false birth certificate and social security card under that name. Bradford kept a low profile but eventually opened up the Eaton Canyon Treatment Center, which was endorsed by LA Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa. Authorities authorities were able to identify Bradford through fingerprints with the DMV. He was arrested with his wife as they exited the vehicle at the Home Depot. Bradford was convicted of first-degree murder and attempted robbery in 1971. The Altadena Sheriff's Station is inviting the community to another Coffee with the Captain on Monday, March 25th at 10 a.m. Captain John Benedict will be at the Coffee Gallery at 2029 North Lake Avenue. Captain Benedict says that these events, which were popular last year, are an excellent way to continue building on an existing partnership with the city and help the Sheriff's Station identify issues that need to be addressed in the community. For more information on this event, please call Sergeant Matthew Bossier Jr. at 626-296-2160 or send him an email at mbossy@lasd.org. That's spelled M-B-O-S-S-I-E. After gorgeous warm weather, it got cold this weekend. And any chances of a warm-up? We're going to check in with CCN meteorologist Curtis Peak here to tell us what we can plan. So are there more storm clouds on the way, Curtis?
I think we're going to see storm clouds for the next few days. We do have a slight, I mean a very slight chance of seeing a little rain, a little precipitation on Wednesday. But I'm not going to hold my breath for that one. But on Thursday, we are going to see some clear skies. We are going to warm back up by the weekend. Right now outside, we have 67 degrees. Our winds are out of the southwest at 10 miles per hour. As you can see, our humidity is 64%, so it's a little muggy out there. We do have those clouds sticking around, and we do have a little coastal fog. And we do have a sunrise tomorrow morning at 6:59, and our sunset tomorrow afternoon is going to be at 7:03. As we take a look at our almanac right now, we can see today our high was 73 degrees. Our normal is about 70 degrees, so we are above average 3 degrees, and we are going to have a moderately warm night tonight at 54 degrees. Normally we are at 47 degrees. This is what I'm talking about, those cloudy skies. Reason we have those cloudy skies right now, we have a coastal eddy. That coastal eddy is sitting off the coast. All that is just a low pressure whirlwind that's picking up the moisture. That's why we have the fog and the clouds early in the morning. They do burn off just a little bit. So that coastal eddy will begin to move out, dissipate by Wednesday night into Thursday. And as I said, Wednesday night does begin clearing on Thursday, and we are going to have a warm weekend. As we take a look at our overnight lows right now, Pasadena, you are going to come in at 56 degrees, Glendale 53 degrees, and Alhambra is going to be our coolest spot at 51 degrees. Let's take a look at our highs for tomorrow. As we can see, Pasadena, we are going to come in at 71 degrees. As our friends over in Arcadia, thank you for La Bella Spa for reaching out to me today. You are going to come in at 69 degrees and 70 degrees in Monrovia and 70 degrees in West Covina. Here's our 7-day forecast. As I said, we are going to see temperatures begin to rise by the weekend. Once that graphic does come up for our 7-day forecast, I'll tell you more about it. Well, for the next 3 days, we are going to see 71 degrees. And then we are going to see clearing by Thursday. Tomorrow is going to be cloudy, partly cloudy skies, but on Wednesday, mostly cloudy. We're going to see very little sun. On Thursday, the sun does return, 71 degrees. Look at Friday. A ridge of high pressure does begin to come in. Saturday, wow, beautiful weekend ahead, everybody. 81 degrees on Saturday, 83 degrees on Sunday. Drop down 2 degrees on Monday, back down to 81 degrees. And the nights are going to be absolutely gorgeous. So stick around for a few more days. Those clouds are going to be there, but we are going to see some sunshine coming back on Thursday, and get ready for a warm weekend. Sunita, back to you.
Well, that's a lot to look forward to, Curtis. Thanks for that. And the school board race keeps getting interesting. Ruben Hueso is here live to tell us why he should earn your vote for the next school board election on April 16th. That's coming up on Crown City News, your neighborhood.
My name's Reggie. Just recently, my wife and I took in her sister's children. Now, we already had 4, so I went from becoming a family man to a man with a bigger family. Now, you can't eat love, so I don't know how I'm gonna feed them tonight. How was that, Rich?
I think I look more like Denzel.
That's cold, man.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
But it would be safe to keep your distance until there's no secret that laughter makes you smile. Reliable sources say that chicken soup has found their way out of this
Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. Go to discovertheforest.org.
2 outs with a runner on first base. Now the big guy comes up to bat, hitting .342 with 92 RBIs and 36 homers. First pitch is fouled between the
Chill raw and prepared foods promptly. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Welcome back. As you know, the March 5th election did not have a clear winner for the District 3 school board seat. The top 2 candidates, Tyrone Hampton and Ruben Hueso, both failed to receive the 50+1 percentage of the vote needed to win, though Ruben Hueso got the closest. Joining us live in studio is Ruben Hueso to tell us why he thinks he'll come out on top next time. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Well, so what did you expect this runoff? You got really close, almost to the 50%.
Well, our team knew that there were 4 people on the ballot, and we understood that it's going to be very difficult to get 50+1 with 4 people on the ballot. So we did expect it to be very difficult. I'm very proud to have received the plurality of the vote with 49.9 on March 5th, and it's going to take a lot more work moving forward to talk with the voters, and that's what I plan to do starting tomorrow.
Well, you know, the turnout was really low. What do you think about that turnout? Do you expect the same for the runoff, or do you think because it's, you know, more of a specific race that there'll be more of a turnout?
Well, I don't expect the turnout to be greater. However, Pasadena, you have a chance now to get out and vote. Please go out and vote. It is very important that your voice be heard. And vote for the teacher who's most qualified in this campaign. And that's what I aim to do, is talk with the voters and hopefully help them make an informed decision about who should serve on the District 3 Board of Education.
I wanted to ask just a quick question about election night. I had talked to you at KPAS on election night as well, and you'd mentioned that there was an incident with one of your volunteers and someone with Tyrone Hampton's side. What can you tell us about that? I mean, Mr. Hampton was on our show, and he said, you know, there was no police report filed in that. He doesn't even know who was involved. You know, nothing has been really brought to his attention. What can you tell us about that and the volunteer?
Well, unfortunately, a young lady, one of my volunteers, was victimized on election day. At 10 a.m. on election day, 2 individuals carrying Hampton signs came to my campaign headquarters, and they attempted to put their signs in our campaign headquarters. Our volunteer confronted them, and what ensued was a tussle, a little scuffle of sorts, and where she was pushed over and grabbed, and so it was unfortunate that happened. Violence has no place in our community. I've asked Mr. Hampton to do the classy thing that public figures like ourselves have to do, number one, we need to disavow violence.
Well, he has disavowed the violence and said that he doesn't support that.
Well, the classy thing for him to do is to reach out to the victim. I think that's a classy thing. I would do that if the tables were turned on me.
You know, some are saying that it is, you know, that since there was no police report filed, why wasn't there a police report filed?
There was a police report filed. The young lady did file a report, and if anyone wants that report, I think they have to contact the Sheriff's Department.
Okay, but I mean, is this anything? Because some are saying on the other side that maybe this is just a way to, you know, kind of, he's a young kid, not a kid, a younger man, and is this a way to disparage his campaign?
No, in no way. The facts are what they are. We have a young lady who is no longer part of my campaign because she is in fear for her life in terms of what happened to her that day, and I don't blame her. I'm not saying that these individuals were Hampton volunteers, but the facts are that they were carrying Hampton signs. Okay. And they were at my campaign headquarters trying to put their signs at my campaign headquarters on election day.
Is she physically okay now?
She's physically okay, but you know, anytime this happens to you, and she was alone at the time, It's a very traumatic experience.
Absolutely. Well, we are definitely thinking about her, hoping she's
Appreciate
okay.
it.
Well, you know, your race seemed pretty low-key until it was reported that United Teachers of Pasadena pulled their endorsement. What went down with that?
I was, as a classroom teacher, I was very proud to be endorsed by UTP. They gave me a letter on March 2nd. I have a copy of the letter I could share with you. The letter is not specific as to why they rescinded their endorsement. While I disagree with their decision, I respect their decision. Looking forward, if I'm elected, I'm looking forward to meeting with Alvin Nash and having a healthy discussion about the issues in PUSD and as well as with their members. They have 922 members that are a key component of turning this district around.
Okay, going into the issues, what areas do you think need the most improvement here? I mean, obviously, you know, the dropout rate is really high. How do you propose to address some of those on the board?
Well, currently, the morale is very low for teachers, and I want to do everything possible to protect students from the chaos of layoffs. There are some classrooms that have almost a 40-to-1 ratio. If we're going to start improving the achievement gap, we need to start working towards lowering class size. We need to start looking at bringing on support staff and more security staff on board at schools because safety has to be one of our #1 priorities. And it's hard to have a safe environment when you only have a few support staff that are doing that work. So in terms of my vision and principles, I'm in complete alignment with UTP. I'm a classroom teacher, and so I'm completely in favor of providing a conducive environment for both teachers and students in PUSD. And moving forward, if I get elected, that's going to be my focus.
Now, District 3 mainly represents minority students in the district. What challenges do you think they face that are specific to your district that maybe some of the other districts don't face?
Well, poverty is a big issue here in Northwest Pasadena, and we can't ignore that. And I'm looking forward to the city getting involved, and as part of the city and PUSD work plan that's in place, that's going to make a lot of inroads towards providing a lot of resources, particularly to Northwest schools. We're talking about after-school programs. We're talking about joint use agreements between the city and PUSD, providing recreational facilities that are much needed in the community. Potentially providing a clinic in the community that can serve the needs because it all starts with prenatal care. It all starts with our early childhood education. That's where we're going to start making an impact on improving our students at those early years. And that's my focus for District 3, starting at the elementary level and then providing the needed resources at the middle school level and high school level. Middle schools need more counselors. Middle schools need more student engagement in terms of bringing the career pathways and linked learning programs to the middle school level so we can engage the middle schoolers because that's where we're losing a lot of our students at the middle school level. So we need to keep them engaged in the educational process.
You know, a lot of these programs sound really vital. And the security staff you're talking about, but you know, with the constraints of the budget going on right now, how are those going to be possible?
Well, we have some outstanding institutions here in town that can provide a lot of resources to us. I'm talking about JPL, Caltech, Art Center College of Design, our local museums. All of them want to get on board and help the schools. We should own the concept that we're going to be developing the next astronauts that we're going to send to Mars, and they're going to come from right here in Pasadena. And I'm looking forward to working with our institutions to get them involved in the schools and tell them exactly what they can do to get our students excited about doing great things with their lives.
You know, and I guess the part that whenever I hear that, because I think those are great ideas, you know, we do have some world-class universities and, you know, people around us, but they're not new organizations. You know, JPL has been there for a while, Caltech's been there for a while. So what do you think have been the roadblocks for those partnerships not being as strong as they could be already?
That is the million-dollar question, right? Why hasn't the city gotten involved in our schools? Other cities are getting involved in their schools. Why haven't we reached out to all our local institutions?
Well, do we know if we haven't? I mean, it seems like maybe it's on their end of not necessarily knowing how to integrate or, you know, collaborate with the schools.
Absolutely, and we need to reach out to them. We need to tell them exactly how we need them to get involved in their schools, because we are all stakeholders together, and they have the resources that we can utilize that no private school can provide. We can provide an education that engages students, that has innovation, that has imagination, creativity, and it behooves everyone in this city to get involved in our local public school system, because we all win if we do.
I guess I just wonder, though, I mean, back to the whole idea of, you know, these programs that we want to set up and the budgets. Because, you know, we were talking to Kim Kenny on election night, and she was just looking at it and saying, you know, it is just so tight right now. There's, you know, layoff notices that have gone out already. How can more programs be brought on when we kind of cutting the existing programs that are there?
Well, I'm talking about reaching out to institutions that can provide us resources that won't necessarily cost PUSD money. I'm giving an example. At Washington Middle School, they're going to put on a STEAM magnet in the fall, and that is going to be a collaboration between JPL, the local Armory for the Arts, Caltech is going to get involved. And so what we need to do is start forging those public and private partnerships to get them involved in the schools, especially now with these tight budget dollars and tight economic times. We need to find creative solutions to solve a lot of our problems.
Okay. Are you worried at all? I mean, there's been so much talk with the school board and just the contentious nature of it. Obviously, there's going to be a couple of changes on the board, you know, no matter what's the outcome of your election. But are you nervous about the, you know, being able to get things done? Because it seems like there's a lot of stalling going on with the school board.
Well, I can't control the demeanor of other board members. I can't control my demeanor. And I will definitely be professional. I think there should be decorum at board meetings. I think our focus should be on the children of PUSD. And I will do everything to collaborate with other board members to move forward on improving our district and providing a better quality of education here in our schools. And if that's our focus, then we don't need to waste time. We don't have a lot of time to waste. We have very short time to work on these issues. They're very important issues. They're issues that are very important to the voters out there, to other stakeholders, and so we need to move forward.
Okay. Well, I appreciate so much that you came in and talked about your campaign, and we wish you the best of luck with the runoff.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Well, that's it for this newscast. Please reach out to us with news tips and community news at crowncitynews.com. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter to keep updated on the latest. For this newscast, thanks to Ruben Hueso for joining us in studio. Thanks to all of our sponsors, including Southern California Edison, Wink Marketing, Dr. Fareed Zarif, and the Pasadena Enterprise Center office building with available space. Thanks also to the CCN crew. They make this show possible. And finally, we thank you for watching CCN Crown City News. Join us each week as we cover the news in Pasadena and the San Gabriel Valley. For all of us here at CCN, I'm Sunita Joshua Madison. Have a great week. Well, as we get closer to the election,